Dan, you said your camera can pick it up, but should I speak into the mic anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you ready for us? Can I start? Okay.
This meeting is called to order. Mr. Albro?
Present.
Ms. Dunn?
Present.
Mr. Levine? Ms. McSweeney?
Here.
Ms. O'Grady?
Here.
Ms. Ryan?
Here.
Mr. Steele?
Here.
Vice President Gomez?
Here.
President Andrews?
Here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In accordance with the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law, the New Milford Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Borough Hall and the New Milford Public Library. Notices have been sent to the Record, the Twin Borough News. The board announces that under its long-standing policy, it will not discuss in public any comments made by members of the public concerning individual staff members. At this time, please be advised that all cell phones and electronic devices are to be turned off. Okay, so as everyone is aware, thank you very much, everyone who came tonight and who is watching on the live stream, because we are very, very excited to announce the new superintendent, Danielle Shanley. I could sit here and give you all her accolades, but I think that you should hear from her yourself. Put you on the spot, what her vision is, what she intends to do for our district. Danielle, do you want a seat? Do you want to stand?
I'll stand.
Okay.
Thank you, Mrs. Andrews. Hi, everybody. Thanks to all of my former colleagues who've come out tonight and some of my former students who are here. I can't believe it. When I came to New Milford in 2010, I met this visionary maverick, as I often call him, behind closed doors. And we had a long conversation about growth and innovation and how to create learning environments for students and teaching environments for teachers that could be the best that they could be anywhere. And if they can do it here or there, why can't we do it here? And we embarked on 8 years together, and 8 years that I was here with a lot of these people, some of whom left and came back too. And we built a lot of amazing things here, from the academy programs to phonics programs at the elementary, to our days of making and opportunities for creativity in classrooms. We embarked on responsive classroom and responsive school, and yoga in classrooms for children. And we renovated this auditorium. I think I have my name on a chair over there. And we were just in the guidance conference room, and I said to my husband, we renovated this when I was here. And I had some of the most profound and personally rewarding experiences that any person could have in a professional setting. I was embraced by this community, by the teachers, by the students, by the parents, who willingly supported all of the crazy things we proposed. And they took flight and or grew roots, and it was wonderful. And the only reason I left was because I felt that I really needed to grow and embark on my own superintendency, which I did for the past 3 years in Saddlebrook. And I learned a lot there that I can certainly bring here, some of which is a thorough understanding of the budgetary process and what it means to be truly fiscally solvent and to plan with a tight budget in mind and to still grow while you're addressing that tight budget. I've learned a lot about special education. I've learned a tremendous amount about the law and about policy and procedure and practice and how all of those things need to be in place and followed and treated with respect so that you don't have to pay this guy over here to represent you in the court of law. And I also learned very much that I really miss New Milford. And when I heard Michael was leaving, I thought, well, that would be a dream. So it's a little surreal to be standing here truly before you because this is a dream position for me. And as I said, when you hired me in 2010, I'll say it again, I really mean it this time, I'll be retiring from here because this is a dream. So I thank all of you for supporting me and for welcoming me. And I see Laura right back there, I miss you, Laura. And I'm so excited to work with my colleagues again. And I will tell you what I know for sure, like Oprah's, what I know for sure. And that is that New Milford has some of the most spectacular teachers I've ever seen. I can't wait to see them again. So thank you. And my job now is to continue the vision for growth and innovation. When I was in Saddlebrook, we opened school on time this year, and even though we were in the midst of a pandemic, we still managed to develop an articulation with County College, Bergen Community College, for five certification programs for students. We also developed an early college program where students graduate high school with an associate's degree. And we turned about a dozen courses into dual credit opportunities. And we did all of that during the pandemic. So growth and innovation is just something I know to do. Doesn't matter if it's pandemic, we do it anyway. And I'm really looking forward to continuing Michael's work and the work of this team and the work of these teachers and the expectations of a community whom I know is very committed to the education of their children. And I see Mrs. McElroy in the back. I'm so glad to see you. Mrs. McElroy tested me in 2010 when I came here. I loved her for it. Budget was tough, and the community was questioning whether or not we needed a director of curriculum here. And Mrs. McElroy's son's 4th grade class, I think, a teacher was eliminated because the teacher could be eliminated because of size of classes, and she was very concerned. She says, look, I welcome you, but I really hope you bring it. And when I was leaving, she told me I didn't disappoint her. I'm so glad to see you. And it's parents like this who set an expectation for what they want for their children, which just puts a healthy pressure on us to rise to the occasion and make it come to fruition. So I'm so happy to be part of it, and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. I'm very excited to have you. Welcome home. At this point, I would like to open to the public for items on the agenda. As outlined in the Milford Board of Education Bylaw 0167, each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 2 minutes. May I get a motion, please? Motion by Nicole Dunn, second by Jay Levine. All right. All in favor? Aye. It's very strange sitting this way. Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. I'm going, as we are live in person right now, we're also live streaming, and we did have a few email on the form that we've had in the past. So I'm going to go to the forum questions first, and then anyone in person is welcome to step up. Just bear with me pulling them up. We didn't have them. Okay, so we had 2 people email on the form and their questions overlapped. So I'm going to kind of summarize them and answer them. And I guess I should read the names and addresses for the record, correct? Okay. So we have Joe Lunam, 381 Leonard Drive. And we have Brooke Del Vecchio, 794 Navy Street. So they are basically both asking the same questions, and they both are asking for what the process is in hiring the superintendent. So to answer their questions, the district posted the vacancy internally and on the website, as well as reaching out to Ms. Shanley to advise her of the opening. We received 2 applications, and we interviewed both candidates. And then repeated question. The question was she recommended? I think that was answered yes. We wanted her back. And so there was a question about was there transparency through the process? There wasn't transparency. The district disagrees with the alleged lack of transparency. There wasn't a requirement to have an extended process that would take a long time and cost a lot of the taxpayers' money. So there were no limitations on anyone who could apply, and the district certainly encouraged all candidates to apply. And the board, unquestionably, it was a unanimous agreement, feels that it selected the best person for this job, and did not need to conduct any further searches in order to do so. I am also going to hand the mic over to Betty Pera, our attorney, to answer some of the legal questions that were asked.
Okay, thank you. So I know one of the questions that was asked was, what are the legal obligations in terms of conducting a superintendent search or appointing a superintendent? So the legal obligations are actually quite few, and in fact there's only one. The one legal obligation is that before you hire a superintendent, you have to have the contract for that superintendent approved by the executive county superintendent. That is the only legal obligation that exists other than the board voting on and approving the superintendent and her contract. In terms of contractual obligations, there are obligations set forth in the collective negotiations agreements with the teachers union and with the administrators, indicating that you have to at least post internally. Absent having those contractual obligations, there's not even a legal obligation to do that. But the district certainly did that. It went above and beyond that, actually, by also posting on the website. So in terms of the contractual and legal obligations, all of those were met. The executive county superintendent has approved officially the employment agreement. And so the only thing that's remaining is for you to vote on the contract.
So that was it for the emailed questions on the agenda. Is there anyone in person who would like to ask a question or make a statement? Yes, please state your name and address for the record. We'll take all questions and then we'll respond.
Sure thing. Barbara Hutchinson, 556 Windsor Road. I know that you made reference to the contract. Is the contract over 4 years, and what is the salary?
Do you have the contract? Okay, so the contract specifically is from 2021 to 2026. Superintendent agreements can be for 3, 4, or 5 years. So this is a 5-year agreement. And the salary is $215,000 for the first year, and then 2% increases thereafter for each year. That's the question.
Thank you for your question.
Next one, follow-up.
No, if it's on another topic. A follow-up?
It's follow-up to the contract. It's my understanding that each,
Okay. Please ask all your questions first, and then we will respond. Thank
in
you.
terms of the superintendent's evaluation, it's my understanding that if they meet each goal, there is a certain bonus that each superintendent is able to receive. Some districts, it's from 5,000 to 10,000. Are there any segments for bonus?
That's a good question.
Right. Yeah, that's a good question. As I look at this here, as I recall, there are no merit goals in this contract. That is something that was probably somewhat common when there was a salary cap for superintendents. As you might know, that salary cap was eliminated about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and this does not have any merit bonuses.
Great. Thank you for your question. Are there any other comments or questions? Please state your name and address for the record. You have 2 minutes. Please ask all your questions, and then we will respond. Of course.
My name is Mary McElroy, 97 Green Drive.
I came here tonight hoping to see Danielle Shanley, and I just want to say how pleased I am to see that she's going to be our new superintendent. She's right in her comments when she said that she and I, and a number of parents, started out on a bit of a rough patch with her when she first came in here. There was a lot going on in the district, and it was a really tough time. And I worked closely with her as a parent on a number of committees. I've seen her in action. She is the real deal. She is the real deal as an educator and as someone who cares about children. Cares. Loves kids. You can't fake that. You cannot fake that. And I'm really and truly excited to see what she's going to do here. My kids are graduated. My last is going to be a junior in college. I came here because I wanted to see her and because I care about education in New Milford, and I think she is the best person for this position. So great job to the board for getting her back here. And Danielle, as one of your big fans, I'm here for anything that you need. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. McElroy. Please state your name and address for the record.
Christopher Ryan, 508 Windsor Road, and I'm going to say that I'm the former vice president of this Board of Education. A couple of quick statements. One, Mr. Blitzy, I did work with you. It's an honor, and I want to wish you the best. Board, I know you didn't work. I know you have always done work when I was working with you. I was impressed with the amount of care you gave to every question about the community. I think you did an excellent job. And to Ms. Shanley, welcome home.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Are there any other questions or comments from anyone in person? Okay. Then can I get a motion to close to the public? Motion by Joseph Steele, seconded by Judy McSweeney. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. I would like to make a motion for P-189, the appointment of the superintendent of schools. Be it further resolved that this employment agreement has been, am I reading from the right spot? No. Be it further resolved that the board approves the employment agreement with Danielle Shanley for the position of superintendent of schools for the foregoing period of appointment, which employment agreement is attached to this resolution and made a part thereof. I also make a motion for P-190. Can I get a second? Second by Judy McSweeney. Roll call, please.
Mr. Alborough?
Yes.
Ms. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Levine?
Yes.
Ms. McSweeney?
Yes.
Ms. O'Grady?
Yes.
Ms. Ryan?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez,
Yes.
President Andrews.
Yes. Motion passes 9-0. I'm sorry, I forgot to say any questions or comments, but Mr. Quincy would like to make a comment.
Good evening, everyone. It doesn't seem like such a long time ago, but it's actually 12 years ago. I was in the same auditorium speaking with another group of parents and teachers in the district. As I think about my retirement at the end of the summer, at the end of August, what I think about is, will the work that we started 12 years ago continue? Will we be able to sustain the kind of drive, the kind of motivation, the kind of energy that I think characterizes the growth of the district over all this time? So when Danielle expressed her interest in being my successor, I was thrilled, because I can't think of anyone who has any deeper, richer knowledge of this district than Danielle. She was a big part of the growth of this district. And I'm sure she remembers all the conversations, some of them debates, some of them heated, but out of them there was such growth. So I'm so happy on my end because you have someone who's going to create a truly seamless transition into that next, I don't know what you want to call it, the next generation of leadership for the district. And I can see that being extremely exciting. So please know that you have my enthusiastic support as well. And I look forward to responding to any questions or concerns that you may have going forward. Unfortunately, I gave her my personal cell phone number years ago. She still has it. Those things don't go away. No, I'm not teasing. But congratulations.
Anyone else from the board want to say anything? Since I kind of skipped that. Paige, you always want to say something. Okay. All right, in that case, the only thing left on the agenda is to open to the public for items not on the agenda. As outlined in the New Milford Board of Education bylaw 0167, each statement made by the participant shall be limited to 2 minutes. And I will go, we also had a few email on the forms, so I will read those and then I will open to anyone else here. Sorry, bear with me. Okay, so the first question is from Rosalia Pernice, 196 Rambler Ave. Will we still have to fill out the health form in September, and will it be revised? So I'm just going to let the superintendent reply back to contact Rosalia with that information, because I'm sure they haven't even been asked that first, and forthcoming information on what's happening. The next question is from James Lawler, 554 River Road. And it's asking about the LGBTQ curriculum that is implemented by Governor Murphy. So I'm also going to let the superintendent contact this person with that information and follow up on that. And the last question is Brooke Del Vecchio, 794 Mabee Street. And it is asking about the meetings taking in place and live streaming. So that is a good question because all of this is all new to us and that's for me. It's great to be back, to be getting back to normal. It's fun. We are in person, but we will be live streaming. For those who can't attend meetings, they should be informed. So we will be moving forward, we will be in person and live streaming. We have a rough draft of the policy to post, and once that policy is confirmed, we will be posting starting with this meeting. So Dan Preet, our wonderful technology guru, informed us that we have the ability to live stream it tonight, and once we have the policy approved, he can go back and post everything that has been live streamed. So that is the plan moving forward. Okay, that is it for all of the emailed questions. Are there any questions not on the agenda from anyone in person? Please state your name and address for the record. You have 2 minutes. Please ask all your questions first.
Good evening. Lauren Felitti, 253 Myrtle Avenue. I just want to say it is great to see everyone in person. And thank you, board, for listening to the voices of parents that were asking for both options to both be in person and stream. I think it's a fantastic improvement, and I think the district will greatly benefit. So thank you for hearing us on that. To the current superintendent and the new superintendent, I'd like to ask just about how you intend to transition. I'm sure, Mr. Polizzi, that you have maybe some goals and objectives that may have gotten deferred because of COVID, right? And things that you may want to see passed on in terms of just next year's objectives. So just curious about how you're approaching the transition plan, and in addition, just shared goals. And I guess I would invite you both to respond to that. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you for that question. Unfortunately for this year, the board establishes goals every year at its annual board retreat. That happens over the summer. I think our retreat date is sometime in July, what day? July 13th, where the district establishes goals. Superintendent evaluations are based on the achievement or progress toward those goals. Going forward, Danielle and I will have conversations regarding those goals so that there is an awareness so that when Ms. Shanley does eventually come on board in September, she can hit the ground running. And aside from that particular process, she will be advised of all of the changes, some of the shifting around, some of the new curriculum, some of the details of operational details of the district. She will be brought up to speed through meetings, conversations, et cetera, and have an opportunity to really weigh in on those so that whatever initiatives kick in September, October, anytime during the following year, they represent her leadership, which I hope and I believe will follow in the vein that we've been going over the past 12 years.
Thank you. Thank you for your questions and comments, Mrs. Floyd. Any other questions or comments from the public for items not on the agenda? Yes, Mrs. McElroy, please. Even though we know who you are, please restate your name and address for the record.
I apologize, I wasn't sure that I could make this comment. I just want to publicly say thank you. Thank you on behalf of our family for what you brought here, our district. A lot of things happened under your tenure. And one of the things was that you had Danielle Shanley as a partner on certain things. But there was a lot of action taken. We were sort of going off the rails before you got here. There was a lot of instability, and you came in here and some major changes were made. And they were made educationally, and they were made in the facilities realm, and they were made smartly. You know, we didn't go out for a bond referendum. You did a lot of things in-house creatively, like the refurbishment of this auditorium, and numerous other things that I can think of. And having a parent superintendent council for people to be involved and to be heard and to be seen as members of the community, and a host of other things as well. So, not to eat up the bite and take more time, but I just felt like I really needed to come back up here and say thank you so much for what you did here, and I wish you all the best in retirement.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. McElroy. Are there any other questions or comments from the public for items not on the agenda? Okay, then I'd like a motion to close to the public. Motion by Anthony Alvaro, seconded by Nicole Dunn. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. And do I get to use the gavel again? Let's see. I got to use it. This meeting is adjourned. Oh, wait, nope, lied. I got excited about the gavel. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting? Motion by Paige Ryan, seconded by Jay Levine. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it passes 9-0, and I get to use the gavel again. Meeting is adjourned. Good night.